Well, Alf, the NBA is in serious trouble. Wembanyama goes down for the rest of the year. That's Victor Wembanyama, the hottest young up-and-coming prospect in the NBA, superstar for the Spurs. I enjoy watching this guy's highlights. Frankly, I can't sit through an NBA game. It's tough for me these days. But watching his highlights, he's a special player, and this is a big blow to the NBA. If you look at kind of what are the big stories this year, Luka goes to the Lakers, and frankly, he hasn't started off strong. You know, granted, he's coming off of injury. He's been out. He's got to get back into basketball shape, and there's going to just be a natural transition. There's not going to be chemistry there with LeBron and the Lakers right out of the gate. It's probably going to take the rest of the season to start to get a little bit of chemistry, and we look to next year as to what the Lakers can do realistically. But still, you know, the NBA, that was really kind of the big story as Luka goes to the Lakers. You've got Wembanyama. And I don't want to take away from a lot of the other young NBA stars. There is some young talent in the league. There is some excitement there for sure. But this is not good. It's really bad for NBA and for card collectors. When you think about the amount of money that has been spent on Wembanyama rookie cards, and he has a shoulder injury. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I'm a doctor. I've been on Facebook groups, all these different places. Everyone can diagnose this, knows exactly what's wrong with him. It's in his right shoulder, which is his shooting shoulder, which is not good. And I guess the thing is it a lingering issue? You know, or is this something like, they take care of it. Does it come back? Does it linger? Is it going to turn into one of these things that impacts his career long term? Or is this just, a blip on the radar? Michael Jordan broke his foot his second year in the NBA, and he did just fine. It really just depends on so many different factors. But something that might shock you, a sign of the apocalypse, if you will, WNBA Prizm is outselling NBA Prizm. Before I dive in further, Pristine Auction has their elite auction that's going to end here in a couple of days. Guys, all sorts of amazing stuff, whether it's sports cards, sports memorabilia, non-sports pop culture, all sorts of really cool items that have no reserve on them over there at Pristine at the elite auction. Check that out. There's also 10-minute auctions. There's also weekly auctions. All sorts of goodness over there at Pristine. There's a $10 off your first auction victory promo code in the video description as well as in the pinned comments. All the hobby discounts down there in my video description. Make sure to check that out. All right, so I think it was Ben Burrows. Was it Ben or was it Will? I think it was Ben. That put out the article on collect.com. Make sure to check out collect.com. Great site for hobby news. And he was talking about how the first off the line Prizm basketball that just came out. Now, this is the last licensed Prizm basketball that will ever come out. So let's just keep that in mind. $700, $650, $700 for a hobby box. That's for first off the line. For WNBA Prizm Hobby, just regular Prizm Hobby, you're looking at $1,100, $1,200 for those boxes. And it just shows you the power that is Caitlin Clark. It's unbelievable. I know people will say like, oh, there's Angel Reese and there's some of these other rookies. And sure, yeah, there's other players for sure. I don't want to just say it's all because of Caitlin Clark. But 90% of this thing is because of Caitlin Clark. When you look at what are the chases, when I look at card vlogs, Roth Cards just had a black gold Prizm out of 5. That's a 5-figure card. I think he pulled it and he graded it with Beckett. I don't know if he's selling it. Well, of course he's selling it. It's Roth Cards. But anyway, there's all this chase hype around Caitlin Clark. The season starts in a couple of months. And I'm just looking at this thing and I'm like, my God, on what planet are we where the WNBA, which for decades has not been a league that people really pay much attention to. Talent in the league for sure, but it just has not got the TV ratings. It has not gotten the in-stadium attendance. It just hasn't happened. Nobody was walking around with Indiana Fever shirts on. I don't want to say nobody. Most people just were not involved in WNBA, and now how the turntables have turned. Is that what Michael Scott said? And maybe this is because there's not a dominant rookie class here for the NBA. I mean, if you compare to last year, if you had Wembanyama rookie year up against Caitlin Clark, they would probably beat out the Caitlin Clark WNBA stuff, or at least be the same. But we don't have that. This NBA draft class, while it could have some solid players, and you never know with the draft class, there could be some gems that come out of it, there's not that mega superstar. There's not a Zion coming out. Not a Luka Doncic. There's not a Zion. There's not a Anthony Edwards. There's not a Wembanyama this year. It's just not there. And the WNBA has their biggest rookie as far as hype goes of all time in Caitlin Clark that's coming out. But that still is pretty shocking that you have $700, $650, $700 for first off the line Prizm basketball. And then you have $1,100 for regular hobby for WNBA. It's absolutely unbelievable. I bought a handful of the numbered select Caitlin Clark rookie cards, different variations. I've got those off at PSA, and then I also have a courtside silver that I just threw in a SlabMag just because I thought it would be cool. And this is kind of one, I don't know if I'll ever grade it. It does have a little surface divot, a little dent. And so I don't think it'll get a 10. I think it might get a 9. But I also I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just kind of keep it here and just kind of hold on to it. It looks good in the SlabMag. And no big deal. I don't necessarily need to grade it. But the Prizm stuff that has come out, if you look at auctions for these Caitlin Clark Prizm rookie cards, granted, I understand the product just came out, they are selling for huge money. Huge money. I've already heard a lot of, the vlog folks, a lot of the show folks buying and selling. Ken over at Sports Card Lessons YouTube channel, he goes to a bunch of shows all the time and he's buying and selling Caitlin Clark cards. He's been doing that for I think 6, 7, 8, 9 months, maybe a year. So there is a lot of folks. I am very interested to see how much of this stuff is there at the National because at that stage the WNBA season should be going on. I think it starts in May. The WNBA season should be going on at the time of the National. And I know there's going to be a bunch of hype and craziness around the new NFL QBs, who the Saints draft. Everyone's going to be trying to figure out, oh my God, the New Orleans Saints draft pick. They're going to want to buy and sell those. I'm kidding, folks. I'm kidding. I actually have people in my comment section that are like, Dustin, nobody wants to hear about the Saints. Guys, it's my team. I've been watching them for 35 years. I'm a season ticket holder. Give me something. Give me something in life where I can talk about my team just for a couple of seconds. Anyway, I know the Saints are not going to be what people are buying and selling. I get it. But what I'm curious to see is we had a really stout QB class going back last year. Then you're going to have guys like Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. People are going to be all excited about those cards at the National as well. But the WNBA stuff, what is that going to look like? And then going back to basketball cards, what happens to the Wemby market? I'm going to take a look. I'll probably do a video in 3, 4, 5 days. Let this thing marinate a little bit. And let's see how the prices look for his Silver Prizm PSA 10 and some of the numbered stuff that he's got. Do the Wemby cards take a big hit because he's injured, or do people just hold? I'm kind of the opinion that, sure, I think we will see somewhat of a dip, but I think if people have paid a lot of money for high-end Wemby cards, they might just sit on them. They might just hold and just wait for him to come back. Maybe they don't necessarily need the cash, or maybe they're just like, you know what? If I bought it at $10,000 and now it's a $7,000 card, I don't know if I necessarily want to rush out and sell for $7,000. I'm just going to hold on to it. So we might not necessarily see a bunch of huge price dips simply because people are just going to hold on and see if they can ride it out. What do you guys think? Wembanyama is out. The NBA, to me, sort of on life support. You've got the aging vets. You've got Steph Curry and LeBron. How long can they hold ratings? Jokic, amazing player, some really amazing players, but does the NBA have the juice? Is the NBA going to go through a lag period, with attendance and with TV ratings? Does it just kind of ho-hum? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, my friends. Stay healthy, stay awesome. I'll talk to you again later.